Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review Part 8. This one reviewing seasons 8 and 9. I was going to do this a couple days ago, but I kind of forgot to do my review since I already gone through season 9. I kind of figured though, why not review both seasons here? And since they're kind of basically kind of the same story in a way. Uh, now these two seasons basically adapt volumes 34 to 44, and they cover chapters 322 to 441. Yeah, it's a lot of chapters. Yep. Uh, Now, basically, season 8 is mostly Water 7. Just basically, oh, okay, they're going to Water 7, and, well, basically, it picks up right where the last season left off, basically, with them meeting up with Grand Conqueror. I should point out, though, that there's two characters who actually the character Frankie, who makes his first appearance in season 8, the guy who voices him, the same guy who voiced Loxus from Fairy Tail, and one of the former Polly. I looked up basically who voices him, and I'm like, I knew this voice sounded very familiar, and he also is from Fairy Tail, like of course the guy who voices Frankie. This guy voiced Ganjo on Fairy Tail, and plus he voiced the character from Bleach. He voiced Kenpachi Zaraki. Yep, it's the second voice actor who voiced him because David Lodge retired as someone who voiced him. And Paulie basically, when he's seen here, basically his weapon is that he uses a rope to fight with. Yeah, a rope. But this pretty much because I kind of remember this arc pretty well. This was a pretty fun arc. It was long, and that's one of the reasons why I remember it. From what I can tell, it sticks pretty close to the original interpretation of how these seasons are presented in the manga. Mm-hmm. There's hardly any alteration I can think of, but it does stick pretty close to how the manga originally presents it. Let's see. Though basically, when it comes to Eros Lobby, it kind of feels very familiar to. It's similar to that of the Soul of Society arc, where at the end of the first part of it, when they're getting Ruki out of the cell, and then they're getting close, and then she has to go back into the cell because they're stopped. Yeah, kind of the same thing happens with this one because, well, the second quarter, the last quarter of season 8, it's just the Eros Lobby stuff where they're on the train ride to Eros Lobby, and they kind of get Robin, but they kind of rescue her, but then she gets recaptured, and then she spends most of the season basically in handcuffs. I should point out though, I did skip some episodes this season. I skipped over 5 in a row because just didn't care because I just wanted the plot to move forward, not stop for 5 episodes because I wanted to learn characters' backstories. I didn't care. There were 3 episodes I skipped over. I skipped them over because they were dealing with the feudal, because the boss Luffy historical special. So I save those for later when I get a chance to watch the boss Luffy special. So even though I didn't skip over because I just didn't care to watch them. I skipped over them so I can watch them later and have the plot move forward. But yeah, there's some funny stuff here and there, like normally how it is basically when it comes to One Piece because it's kind of a comedy. Let's see. Yeah, and of course whenever they get angry, everybody's Tico razor sharp, and also people when they get surprised or something, their eyes go like wide out like this. It is so hilarious. My guess is it's just an anime gag, and also whenever the characters do any special moves, everybody goes flying. Instead of characters getting killed off, they just go flying like crazy. Yeah, it is so hilarious. And then after they rescue Nico Rob, which, by the way, it's presented the same exact way as is in the manga, with Luffy ordering Sniper King to destroy the world government flag. Yeah. And saying she wants to live because, well, Luffy wanted her to say, and she said, yeah. And of course, most of the time she gets beat the crap out of by this guy while she's in handcuffs because, well, she could use different powers, but the reason why she can't because these handcuffs have got sea stone in it. This is actually explained way back in season 1 that sea stones are what it's basically the power of the oceans, what devil fruit powers are weak against. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And then later on, when she gets free, when Frankie frees her. After trying all the keys, it turns out it's key 5. When she gets freed, the first thing she does, use her powers to slap the living crap out of the lead guy from Cypher 9, who actually is the son of the guy who actually blew up her home. Yep. And deja vu, he calls a muster call with a golden transponder snail. Yeah. And Eros Lobby is pretty much eviscerated. Yep. And then later on, after they all escape on the Going Merry, as Robin's final revenge against the guy for hurting her and basically being related to the guy who destroyed her home, yeah, she basically sort of covers his mouth, and then she does the unthinkable. She stretches him so much backwards, she basically breaks his freaking spine. Ouch. So basically, he's crippled. And from what I've heard, he doesn't appear again for probably a while. I think he might appear in a filler story here and there. I think he may come back, but as far as I know, he doesn't come back, even though he was beaten the crap out of many times. But the Eros Lobby stuff was actually really fun. It was a really fun story. The post-Eros Lobby thing, of course, at the end of Eros Lobby, the Going Merry, which was revealed at the start of Water 7, she couldn't sail anymore because the thing that was part of her foundation was broken and could not be replaced. So, even though the guy they told him was an undercover spy, he was correct. He didn't lie about that because he's also a shipwright. And of course, Paula gave Zoro a message to give a message to the 3 people who actually work for Galileo. So yeah, he says to them, tell them they're all fired. Yeah, and the guy who gave him the S, basically, he ate devil fruit and became a giraffe. Yep. As for the secretary, the gorgeous secretary, she developed the ability to use bubbles to make people basically make people immobile. And Sanji basically, first he drinks tea with her, and he does the whole eyes basically shape of hearts, and he does that a lot. So this whole arc is so hilarious. And he's actually the one person who's actually fully defeated by one of the Cypher agents, because he took his chivalry thing, basically, which Nami kind of likes that about him. He would never hit a woman, no matter basically what is going on, good or bad. He would never ever hit a woman. Heck, he even kind of displays this in the filler arc, which I'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, of course, Nami beats her, and again her key, she starts ripping apart her clothes. She's like, okay, be sure to get her key. It's like, oh, okay. And she starts ripping the clothes like crazy. It is so hilarious. Now, as far as I know, and I checked this, I looked it up, most of the Cypher agents basically become fugitives afterwards, and she, the secretary, she never appears again after the story wraps up. She just seen lie unconscious. Now, a few of them do come back and join Cypher Zero, but as for half of them, they just go on the run because they're blamed for the lost Eros Lobby, and they're never seen again. There's one guy who's got this long hair. Yeah, at first he's trapped in a refrigerator by Chopper, and it's so hilarious. And I'll take on the guy with the zipper for a mouth. Yeah, Frankie's like, oh, I gotta get some cola. So first he throws him like whatever, but first it's vegetable juice, and I think the other one must be beer. It's so hilarious. And then he finally throws out cola. It's such a joke. It's like, and then eventually the guy who Chopper trapped in the refrigerator gets out, and apparently he ate everything. And apparently one of his abilities, he can basically, even though he put all that weight, he can actually loosen up all that weight. And they also show off a new ability of Chopper's where he can go to like a monster form, where he basically goes on a rampage. And it's because that Sanji got freed. Yep. And this was overall, this was just a fun arc. The post-Eros Lobby thing, basically, this was after the Going Merry was basically had this thing and they gave her a Viking funeral. Though I'm kind of like, couldn't they at least take on the flag? But nope, they couldn't take on the flag or the sail for some reason. But they got a new sail and new flag. And during the post-Eros Lobby thing, while the new ship was under construction, excuse me, even though that the actual story itself took some 11 chapters, The actual anime took up 13 episodes. The reason why I did this because they did 3 filler episodes where they focused on 3 characters of what they were up to, like one featuring Luffy and Chopper helping a little girl finding her bull, one of those animals that flew in Wall 7. Zoro, who meets up 2 kids basically seen in the couple episodes back, who he actually beat up basically for trying to mug him. And another one basically is, and this is a really good one, where Sanji goes with Chun-Li and her cat to go to this chef who actually turns out is actually a friend of his mentors. Those particular episodes are really good. The first one basically, there was a lot of thing. We got a chance to get introduced to, well, basically in the manga, this was actually the first time people get a chance to see Monkey D. Garp. But in the anime, he appeared prior to that in a 2-parter, which is actually based upon the cover stories, the second one they did, where it had Kobe and Hippo, I think his name is, when they become Marines. And Hippo basically puts on these special glasses, and Kobe is basically grown where he's actually much more taller. And he puts his glasses on his forehead for some reason. He doesn't wear his glasses for some reason. And while basically Luffy is talking to them, their conversation is being wiretapped, being eavesdropped on because apparently Nami left a transponder cell and heard everything. Yeah, and then she hops in the pool with wearing a bikini. It's so funny. And later on, they have a big party, and everybody goes there, and Polly is well, first basically should bring up during Eros Lobby thing because, well, he saved the Frankie sister, the 2 women who were the Frankie family, and they start like humping on him. It's like, cover up, you 2. Yeah, it's a strange thing with him. It's a recurring gag where if a woman is not covered up, he gets like offended by it. It's a kind of a recurring gag with him. The last time he did it is when he saw Nami in the swimsuit. He's like, cover up, girl. No, it's not required for her to cover up because she's near a pool. She's not gonna wear that. And of course, later on, basically, and even viewers are like, how in the world would they able to get all the food and booze? Yeah, it turns out basically Luffy spent most of the money on that, and basically Nami punished him by beating the crap out of him. Yeah, he gets beaten the crap out of twice this whole season. First by his grandpa for falling asleep. Second time by Nami for basically being an idiot. Yeah. And she also, your allowance is revoked. Because apparently not only she's the navigator, she's also the person who's in charge of the ship's money. Yeah. Yeah, it says the woman who half the time basically beat up Luffy for being an idiot, and also who would be carried by him if anything happens to him at all. Yeah. I guess that's tough love between, like, everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Also, everybody gets bounties, and of course Frankie has to go with them. Yeah. Though they kind of basically first give it to the ship by, oh, the new ship has got 1,000 something. When they show it animation, they give it kind of a CGI look, where it moves. Actually, it's a very smooth CGI. They use the CGI just on the ship itself, like we never get a chance to see it moving, because it moves differently than the Going Merry. So they use a little bit of CGI on it, which, okay, fine. A little bit is fine. So at least they're not overdoing it. But overall, the post-editor lobby thing was fun, recreational, and just nice, relaxing fun. The last arc is something I'm not a fan of, the Lovely Land arc, where most of the time the crew will get a bit of crap out of by bounty hunters. And they're trapped in an ice thing. Yeah, it's a filler story. It's only 10 episodes. The last episode I skipped over because I didn't care. It had nothing to do with the show, so I skipped over it. Yeah. Though the last part was actually quite interesting. Basically, you also get a chance to see some of the features of the ship, like a sick bay. Like, you get a chance to see one of the things, the soldier docking is basically a submarine. And let's see what else. Rob becomes friends with a little girl, which I thought was quite cute. And also, at one point, Usopp wanted to hit the little girl for using her plans to hurt Robin. And Sanji puts a stop to it by basically dropping his foot on Usopp's head. and instead basically turn his attention to the Plant, who's basically tying up Robin. Yeah, and of course, and they later get their flag back, which had been stolen at the start of it, by these guys. Yeah, and they also get back another flag, which is another group of pirates, which are called the Phoenix Pirates, which they get their flag back as well. It's an okay arc. It's not terrible. It's just that the bounty hunters were not interesting at all. I would say the most interesting character was a little girl. Yeah, because she was cute, and the fact that she probably had the most interesting time the whole thing. Because everybody else, even the guy who's the head of the family, even he was not very interesting. Yeah, he was a guy who just laid on the couch sideways, and he was, oh yeah, and apparently the reason why he wasn't cold because he ate a devil fruit that is called the heat fruit, where basically he melts everything he touches. Which I'm kind of like, wouldn't that not work if you want to basically hug your own daughters or something? Yeah, talk about useless devil fruit thing where you can't even touch your own freaking kids. You can't even hug them or give them a kiss or something like that, but no. Whatever. Yeah, it's quite bizarre of a story, but yeah. Otherwise, though, that's really it. So that's really it for this part. Stay tuned for part 9, which I will talk about season 10 when I get a chance to get it done. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.